Put intro here, jackass.
Oh, that dropped. You ready? What do you want to do first?
Let's do the one we need more, which I think is a lion, right?
So, which one do you want to do first? Ray or Elmaya?
We'll do Ray's first,
Oh,
because
Gotcha.
Ray's would, I think, naturally lead into Elma's.
mm-hmm. Correct. And welcome back to Psychos and Killers.
No, it is not.
Ha! Right. Let me redo that. And welcome
Right.
back. Round 2. And welcome back to Origins Season 2.
Season 2 prologue.
It's been 4 days since Black Rose fell.
Yeah. For the astute listener, that is way less time than Aldrea's and Allucian's.
Indeed. So, he fell.
Yes, he did.
It stopped fighting immediately, and everyone scattered their separate ways. Nobody truly knows why Yahweh punished Black Rose.
Yeah.
But from the power that's been exerted, being forced to keep Black Rose more or less contained,
Yeah.
and the power that you've been feeling that even the castle's having a hard time containing his power,
Yeah.
and actually seeing aerial combat truly for the first time,
Mm-hmm.
like it's not, you know, not just like the true effects,
Mm-hmm.
and it's too much after your wives, after everything. It's, you've come to a conclusion. Would you fill in the audience on your conclusion while I run upstairs?
Alright, so first off, I'm going to go straight into just a little bit more in greater detail than what the GMs had. So, after a very, very brief recap for everyone who has come to the series thus far, Reynold Visitor, who had only just recently become a vampire and only just recently became a knight at the age of 18 years old. He went through a lot of shit, almost died because of Marlowe and Alucian, I think about 3 times now, almost. The grief of losing all 3 of his wives at once and now having to share headspace with a dude he doesn't know anything
narcissistic dickhead.
about. A narcissistic dickhead in Pentor.
Mm-hmm.
Going through an entire race change from vampire to the curse of the tombs, the pharaohs. There was one more thing I was going to mention, but it's kind of escaping me right now.
I can't think of it, but if we do think of it, we will sidebar.
Sure thing. We will sidebar it when we think of it later. And finally, the fall of
Lord Blackrose.
his Lord Blackrose, who he, as a knight, swore to, seeing all of that in a very short amount of time comparably to everyone else. It's kind of getting to his head. So Reynold Visitor has decided that he needs to step away from his position for a while, and thus has requested a sabbatical release from his servitude as Blackrose's knight.
But first, he needs to ask that by requesting
In person. So, at 4 days after Blackrose became a fallen angel, I'm now having to go face to face with him.
You wake up, a sudden longing hits your heart. It's time.
Yeah.
You can feel it. And as you kind of get up and look out the window, it's a beautiful day, but you find no joy whatsoever in what you're looking at. It's just there.
Yeah.
You walk around your room kind of aimlessly, waiting for the time to, for the most part, pass by.
Yeah.
And then you hear a knock on the door.
I will open the door.
It is Lord Dragula, and he goes, my friend, I have an astute question, and I need another intellectual who is not a bumbling idiot.
I tend to be really good at not being a bumbling idiot.
Good. Lucian was driving me up the wall.
Lucian drives all of us up the wall.
It does not matter. Now come with me. And he kind of grabs your wrist, and he goes, I think I figured out what those two races were, as he kind of storms through the hallways.
What do you mean races?
Races. They're not human. We're primal.
Those. First of all, what the fuck is a primal? And second of all,
He kind of stops. Wait, don't you know about your... You know what? You'll figure it out.
I mean, Yin Yang told me about that there was a second sort of creation, but she didn't exactly tell me what that sort of creation was bound to.
Oh, primals, yes. Come this way. And he kind of abruptly turns around again and continues walking away.
I just say, the fuck are primals?
I'll get you the book! As he turns into his study.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna follow him.
As you walk in, you can see he's been going over the archives. And he has got 2 books open, each with similar drawings and outlines of the creatures that you saw. The big, very tall, scary red one, and the Lovecraftian love monster.
Yeah, the squid face bitch.
Yeah, the Cthulian creep.
So you're saying these monsters are actually intelligent people?
Oh, not just that. He kind of brings them even closer. They're alien races.
The fuck do you mean alien?
As in not from this planet.
That's impossible.
Au contraire, my friend. You want to go on a journey? I will bet you my entire life's fortune that I can ruin your mind on our first jump.
Well, my mind's already kind of ruined and out there and scattered all over the multiverse, so why the fuck not?
Alright.
Plus, I would really like, if this shit we've been investigating about other worlds aside from ours is true, I would love to see them for myself.
So, he kind of gets closer to you. Imagine other worlds. Realms, even. We know about, the underverse and the oververse.
Yeah.
Heaven and hells. The overworlds. But
Yes.
what about beyond them?
That's why I'm
Something
saying,
to learn?
that's why I'm saying I want to come. Like, you forget this about me, but my curiosity is what kills me, and I kind of just tapped the bracelet that turned me into a pharaoh.
As you and him are starting, as he starts geeking out with you about the possibilities, you hear the door to your study slowly creak open, and you feel just a chill. And it's not like a necessary, like it's a cold chill, like the presence of someone who makes you very not okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the door. Who came?
Nieta is standing in the doorway. Her eyes have deep black red patches underneath each one, as if she hasn't slept for days, maybe even months.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell the power strain that he is pulling and or pushing out is even beyond the Supreme herself.
Well, I'm gonna go off on a little sidebar here about the Supreme herself. As in, like, another Supreme of another coven that is not mine?
No, the ultimate Supreme, the head Supreme of everything.
Okay, I was not aware that there was a head Supreme, so...
There is a head Supreme.
Okay. Now that
I forgot we that's something me and Stadigar were talking about.
Okay. So it's like a top leader of all the covens, basically.
Yes.
Alright, I get that. That's
Yeah.
cool.
When she calls, it's like the Were Animal Pact. When she calls, when he calls, they must come.
I get that. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Just wasn't aware of her existence.
So good.
Outside of game is obviously in game. I
Yep.
also don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, let's more power than the high
Supreme.
The
can
High
handle.
Supreme. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna straighten up and say, "Hi, hello, milady. You seem to be a bit worse for wear."
Oh, quick nap. Firespell is taking over my shift right now. He's surprisingly asking for you. He says something about your request is only denied if you don't come.
I figured he'd want to talk in person, but I sent a letter beforehand, asking if I could go on a vacation, but I guess he wants me in person for this shit.
I would be very careful with your wording. She kind of looks at you and, like, that kind of face, like there's something off about him.
Yeah.
She says that out loud, and I've seen him worse for wear before, but this is... You'll feel it.
Yeah, I'm going to walk up next to her and I'm gonna let Ray's mask come down a little bit here and say, I choose my words carefully with everybody. I don't intend on losing that illusion yet. Reiterate that one more time in case you drown that out. But I'm gonna let Ray's mask come down a little bit, and I'm gonna say, I choose my words carefully with everyone. I intend to do the same here.
She looks at you warily and just kind of nods like, alright.
Mm-hmm.
And leads you down the pathway. She goes, I'll open the door, but going in is on you.
Naturally.
She comes to the door, and the door is black.
Yeah.
Like, it's got black lines and veins that are actual genuinely pulsating with pure energy that are coming from the middle outwards.
Yeah.
And she goes, like I said,
Sorry.
no, you're good. She looks at the door and she goes, I can only get you in. The rest is on you.
Alright. This should be a sense getting out.
She opens her hands and you see this bright beam of white, celestial, divine magic start to beam from her hands. As she aims it very carefully, and the door flies open. Go!
I run in.
And and then the smell hits you. The smell of not just death, but your death. Your imminent death. Every fiber of your head, from every neuroptic in your brain going down your spine, you want to get out of this room.
Yeah.
It is black in here. Even the beautiful stained glass cannot be seen, and you know for a fact that it's morning.
Yep.
So he is producing that much energy that he can blot out the sun right now.
Yeah. Well, I don't intend on standing in a wheat field all day until I get a plant successor all figured out. So
Right.
Dying right now is not an option.
Exactly. And then the inky blackness almost dissipates and lightens up, and through this black-ish fog, as if someone's going over it with like a paintbrush that's slowly revealing the picture, still foggy,
Yep.
you can see what happened to the room. Bookshelves have been lit on fire.
Yes.
The beautiful double layers. You cannot walk up and get onto the second landing platform. It's all burnt up. The beautiful pillars are missing giant chunks and seem to be bleeding. And some sort of energy power that just twists at your gut.
Yeah.
And then you see his eyes. Blisteringly white, before flashing red before going back to white. He's sitting very cockily sideways. His massive wings just extending outwards, but they're on fire. And you can see that he's just ignoring all of the pain because they're big blots of blood. They're just oozing off the tips.
Yep.
And he goes, "Ah, my friend." The sinister voice kind of... Come. Sit. And then suddenly...
Shut up, dog.
Shh, Rosie. And then suddenly... you're in front of him in a chair, and he goes, "I see you wish for some time."
Yeah. You could say that.
What do you see when you look upon me? Now, mind you, I want to point out, you can see his outline, but other than his eyes, there is no detail to him. He is a genuine shadow.
Yeah.
Other than the wings.
Mm-hmm. I see the man I swore an oath to. Isn't that enough?
Really? He kind of his eyes kind of look down as if thinking, pondering a decision. Who will replace you? He kind of looks at his fingers boredly.
I have me and Yin Yang have poured over this decision for a long time now. We have decided on a very a newer recruit with some great potential. She is from the times when my wives were still leading the Covenant, she was they looked at her with some regard, and I have to say, seeing her spellcraft for myself, she carries a sort of power that is very unusual even for a woman in the Coven. Her name is Maya.
He thinks, anything I should know about this Maya?
I've never seen her face other than, when I was on drugs. But then again, I can't really remember a lot of those times.
It was enjoyable watching you jump, attempting to kill yourself.
You scared my kitty friend.
I'm sure it was.
He ponders for quite some time, staring at you for a minute, and then he goes, "You have 50 years, no more, no less. At 50 years and 1 second, I begin my hunt to find you, and no power will hide you from me."
I can use 50 years. Thank you. Nice.
I would suggest talking to Dracula. He's going on about an expedition to another world.
Oh yeah, we've already talked about that.
Of course you have.
I plan on going with him.
Make sure this Maya sees me before you leave.
Of course. I'll send. The moment I leave, I'll send her to you. I'll send her to. Shit. Sorry, I'm stuttering. I will send her to you not a moment before I leave.
Cannot wait. And the tone he says it is, enjoy your trip.
Yep.
Gives you a uneasy, no
Yeah.
feeling. And then they'll have to find out what happens on El Maya's prologue.
Yes.
Thank you for listening to The Eternal Cycle. Have an absolutely wonderful